Hey everyone, this is Nick, and we can all agree that KDE is the most powerful desktop environment on any operating system. The sheer number of options and customizations lets you make basically whatever you want on that desktop. But the problem with that is that users are left to discover all that power by themselves. For example, did you know that you can turn Kwin, the window manager, into a tiling window manager in 2 clicks? Did you know you could change the layout and entire theme of everything in just 1 click for your whole Plasma desktop? Or did you know that you could have multiple sets of multiple desktop environments, all with their different wallpapers and Plasma widgets and applications and rules? Well, maybe you do, but I can guarantee you that most users of KDE haven't heard of one or all of these features. So let's talk about hidden stuff in KDE and how we could make all of that a lot more accessible. And how I could make this segue to today's sponsor more accessible as well. Thanks to Tuxcare for sponsoring this video. If you've ever worked on a project using PHP, you know how frustrating it is to know that the version you're using is going end of life and that you're gonna have to upgrade to it quickly with a bunch of refactoring and code rewrites. Well, Tuxcare can now help you to plan that transition thanks to their PHP Extended Lifecycle support. With that new service, you can keep your existing codebase and still receive security updates and patches to PHP, even if it's no longer officially supported. This means that if your codebase still meets your operational requirements, it can also still meet your security requirements, and you get some more time to plan the transition. If you want to learn more about Tuxcare's PHP Extended Lifecycle support, you can click on the link in the description below. So let's begin with the power of KDE, because I'm certain that there are things you can do in KDE that even you don't know about, even if you're a seasoned KDE user. By default, KDE is super simple with its Windows-like layout, its menu bars being stripped from most default apps, but if you open the settings, there are a ton of things you can do, visually and functionally. You probably already know how you can change the theme for basically everything, or how you can change the layout of your panels. But there are also a ton of things most people probably don't know about. So let's look at a few, and then we'll see how KDE can make these more visible, so people actually learn about them and maybe use them. I mean, that's the goal of the developers, right? To make these things so that people know about them and use them, right? I'm not crazy. So let's start with activities, something KDE never really talks about or promotes in any way. An activity is a group of virtual desktops. You can switch activities easily with a keyboard shortcut, and they have their own switcher tool. Each activity can have its own name, wallpaper, set of Plasma widgets, and virtual desktops, which means that you can create a work activity with a certain set of widgets that let you work more easily, and a less distracting wallpaper. And you can create a personal activity, where you can have all the anime characters you want as a background, different widgets, and even different apps running. Hey, if you have enough RAM, you could even just start all your work apps during the day, and when you're done, just leave them open and switch to the personal activity, play a while, do what you need to do, and the next morning, when you need to get back to work, just switch back to your work activity, and everything is just right there, how you opened it, how you left it. It's amazing. It's a truly underrated feature that is never really explained or spoken about or demonstrated, but it's something only KDE does out of all desktops across all operating systems. And most Plasma users either don't know about it or never tried it because it was never explained. Now let's talk about Kwin, the window manager / compositor. You might know that Kwin will get native tiling features in Plasma 5.27, letting you create custom tiling zones and resize and move windows more easily. But you can already do that in Plasma right now, thanks to custom Kwin Scripts. Those can force background blur on certain windows. You can have sticky window snapping, so you can resize 2 adjacent windows in one go. There's Kite, a script that turns Kwin into a full-blown tiling window manager. You can maximize new windows to a new virtual desktop like on macOS, or shake a window to minimize all others. The possibilities are virtually endless, and all you have to do to access that is find the right panel and the right option and the right button to get some new scripts. It's never explained and it's never put forward as an advantage or a feature. Now, by default, KDE Plasma also has KDE Connect, a wonderful tool that lets you basically replicate what Apple does with their iOS and macOS devices. You just install the companion app on your Android phone or iPhone, and you pair the two. On iOS, the feature set is limited, but it still lets you quickly exchange files, use the phone as a touchpad or a remote, or run commands. But on Android, you also get full-on clipboard sharing between the two devices. You get the ability to receive phone notifications on your computer and to answer messages directly from the computer as well, or vice versa. KDE Connect is a super powerful tool that KDE installs by default. Apple tells you about those sets of features. Windows has the My Phone app that they also push heavily at setup. KDE doesn't even tell you it exists, doesn't showcase it, or doesn't even tell you there's something to install on your phone. And that's just a few things most KDE users probably never even knew existed. There are tons more, like KRunner. Press Alt plus space and you get a full-on search box, the spotlight of macOS, if it was hidden and never talked about. You can also have an application launcher as a right-click on the desktop instead of a context menu. You can apply a whole theme that covers the Plasma layout, the look, the application theme, the login screen, the mouse cursor, and more in just one click from the Appearance tab. You can replace any Plasma widget by another through the Show Alternatives context menu item. You can replicate any desktop from any operating system, whether it's Windows 11 or macOS or Linux desktop. And still, I get tons of comments every time I talk about KDE, telling me KDE is too much like Windows, KDE is too complex, KDE doesn't work the way I want. And every time I answer,
but you can change that.
The thing is, no one ever told those new KDE users that these are things that they could do. And so all that power is going to waste. Because while all the options are there in front of the user, no one ever makes them realize that they can combine a certain set of these options to make something that works better for them. All they see is tons of options, not combinations of options. So, what could KDE do to solve all that hidden power going to waste? Now, fortunately, KDE developers seem to have understood that problem because they're already working on a welcome application. It should make its debut in Plasma 5.27. It's extendable by distros to present the things they want, and as a first set of pages, they will have one about Discover, they'll have one to donate to the project, one to showcase system settings, one for the network, and one for system updates. It's a good step forwards. But that does not solve our power problem, because all these pages do is tell people about things they already know they can do on any other desktop or any other OS. What it's not telling them is what they can do specifically with KDE. Here, I would take example on what Zorin OS does, with all the layouts you can apply, for example. It's one of the biggest uses for KDE over GNOME, changing the layout of the desktop. The Welcome app should offer predefined layouts to let people know that this is a capability they have. Offer the default one, a macOS-like one, a GNOME-like one, anything you want. And in good KDE fashion, you could also have a small help indicator that tells people what has been changed to make that layout possible. Or even better, have a plus button to let someone create their own layout, with a nice on-screen tutorial pointing out that by right-clicking a panel, you can move it around and resize it. And they could show you how to add widgets, how to pick alternatives to already existing ones, and then give the ability to save that layout to get back to it later. Basically, when you have these kinds of intricate and powerful systems that depend on the user's creativity, you can't just tell them that it exists. You have to show them how to use them, much like in a video game. The tutorial should never just be lines of text telling you, hey, if you click this button, you can open this barrel. It needs to be tutorialized by example. And it's the same thing for advanced features on a desktop environment. You pique the user's curiosity with multiple layouts, you very clearly tell them that they can create their own, and if they decide to do so, you guide them to show them how they can replicate one or create their own. Now, the Welcome app should probably also be the entry point for themes. KDE has a few out of the box, just as a light or dark mode or the midnight mode, but you could also use that opportunity to tell people about the Get New Stuff buttons that permeate all the customization throughout the desktop. Display all your normal default all-in-one themes and a very visible Get More Themes button right from the start. Then the user can understand they can get one-click layout plus theme plus login screens plus mouse cursor combos directly from their desktop, and by extension that they can tweak all of these items individually. If they are not interested, they just skip it with one click. If they are interested though, then it lets them know that there's a whole community of themes, mouse cursors, icon themes, and plasma themes and layouts that they could just get out in one click from the appearance settings. The Welcome app would also be the perfect entry point to talk about KDE Connect and let users know there's an app they can install on their phone to get all these amazing stuff. Again, a simple step, guided and easy to understand. Just open the notifications area as well to show people where KDE Connect lives, and they'll remember that if they want to use it next time and not right now. Of course, not all features should live in the Welcome app unless you want a 20,000 pages intro installation slider like what Microsoft has on Windows, which is terrible. Don't do that. For example, activities. That's not something all users might be interested in. But there's still a simple path as well. When a user enters the settings for activities, or maybe uses virtual desktops for a while, you can just prompt them with a small notification, easily dismissed and not disturbing, or just a simple banner in the settings that might be related to virtual desktops. Just tell people, if you use this computer for work and personal use, do you want to separate these tasks using activities? Yes or no. If the user clicks no, you will never bother them again. If they click yes, you can have a simple wizard explaining what an activity is, what it can do, and just helping someone set it up by choosing a new wallpaper, a name for the activity, telling them how to switch from one to the other, maybe automatically adding a plasma widget to their panel to help them do that. Maybe show them the different plasma widgets they could pick for each activity. Maybe have a simple UI to decide which app open on which activity. A simple, guided experience to let users understand, first, the use case of the feature, and second, how it works, how to use it once it's set up. Same goes for all Kwin Scripts and all extensions. Keep the settings pages separate, because that's less confusing for people who are not looking for your scripts. But there are multiple pages where what a user might actually want to do is find a script to install it, except they don't know they need a script for that feature. They're looking for a checkbox or a radio button. If they can't find it, they'll assume that it cannot be done. But you could also tell them, maybe there's a script for you to let you do what you're looking for and that you're obviously not finding. Now, all that power needs explaining. If people don't know it exists, then it doesn't exist. And all the time you spent working on these features is wasted, because only 1% of your users will ever use them, instead of being helpful to 100% of your users. Okay, let's be realistic, instead of being useful to maybe 20% of your users. But still, if your car could fly, you'd want to know that right off the bat, right? You wouldn't want to find out in a semi-popular YouTube video or in a weird article on a website that is super niche and small. You'd want to know that. And if you're the guy who made the flying car, you want your users to know that your car can fly, so they will actually want to buy and use your car. Same goes for desktop environments. You need to tell people that there are features in there that no one else has and that they can use to make their work, to make their computer more productive. Right now, no one knows KDE has that, and so you're not getting users based on these features. All the development time on these features is kind of wasted. People who don't wade through the settings or don't look at YouTube videos just don't know what can be done. All they see is huge complexity, tons of settings, and a Windows-like layout they don't even know they can change. So come on, KDE developers, you need to explain all that power. And every new feature you add should have a clear plan on how it's being communicated to your users and how they can know that it exists and what they can do with it. You have the most powerful desktop experience anyone can have, whatever the operating system they decided to use. And you still get people that don't want to use it because they think it's a Windows clone. It's time to change that. And it's time to change computers, thanks to today's sponsor. Tuxedo makes laptops and desktops that ship with Linux pre-installed, which is obviously a way simpler solution if you want a computer to run Linux on than buying anything that runs Windows and praying that Linux will run on it. When you buy from Tuxedo, you know Linux will run on it. That's kind of the point. And they have a big range of devices to cover every price point and every need. They are all modifiable, upgradable, repairable. You can have your own custom keyboard laser etched on the keys of your laptop, your own custom logo laser etched on the back of your laptop. They have everything basically for anyone. So if you need a new device, you want to support Linux's development, and you want to make sure that what you buy will run Linux, head over to the link in the description below, buy yourself a Tuxedo device, they're really good. So, thanks for watching the video, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't hesitate to like, to subscribe, to turn on notifications, to write a comment. And if you didn't like it, well, there's always that thumbs down button, it still works, but do tell me why in the comments, come on. And if you want to support the channel, there's a super thanks button underneath this video on YouTube, there's a PayPal link in the description, and there are also links to my Patreon memberships and YouTube memberships. Both get access to a weekly podcast every Monday, which is exclusive to Patreon supporters and YouTube members, and you also get to vote on the next topics that I'll cover on the channel. So, thanks for watching, and I guess you'll see me in the next one. Bye!